Hello.
Hi.
You were
Gosh, I
done
had
with
to
that, huh?
yes. Yes.
Understood. I just don't understand how you can vilify 50 million people for what 0.0008% of the population does. It's weird. And say this is what black people are. That's crazy.
I know. It's the lens that they go to.
Yeah. And he's not even getting it. It's because white supremacy has programmed you to respond this way. You are programmed to respond this way. You are programmed to vilify and dehumanize black people while also protecting and lying and caping for white people.
Yeah, hang on a second. Mike says that he grew up in a black neighborhood and has experienced racism a lot. Well, in
Not
that
really.
case, why aren't you doing anything to dismantle racism? You would think that if they had experienced it, they'd be doing something to
Yep.
dismantle it.
I think that's an
And if you
important.
want to join the panel, we need to get to 1,500 likes first. Sorry, go ahead, Silver.
I was going to say, I think it's kind of along those same lines when we look at police unalivings. Why are white people so comfortable with the amount of police unalivings in the white community? They think that it's a gotcha because the police unalive more white people, or they believe that they unalive more white people, than they do black people. But why aren't you mad about that? Why aren't you mad that the cops have a more relaxed rule of engagement than our military? Because our cops are dealing with our citizens and our military isn't.
Because they need to feel superior to a demographic. I mean, could you imagine if the leading cause of unalivement in their own community was police violence, the outroar that would occur? But because that's the leading cause in the black community, it's okay because it's not them. And then I'm pretty sure that most of the people disagreeing don't even know how to categorize race, let alone talk about racism. John Silver, were you going to say something?
Um. Yeah, I just don't understand this claim that white people can experience racism. To me, it sounds like a victim mentality. Like we experience it too. That we want so badly to say we want to be a part of everything. First off, that's part of the problem. Secondly, why are me too? I think all of everything that white people does is the We Too movement. I guess kind of trying to we want to be involved in everything. We have to have a say in everything, everything. But why? But besides, that's what we've had a white supremacist slash Eurocentric point of view in this country for hundreds of years, and now that it's changing, white people are uncomfortable with it. But this
We
is
have to be centered.
yes, and this is part of ending Jim Crow and becoming a fair society. to white people, equality is oppression, because now we can't dominate and run everything, while we still do, but we're holding on to that with our dear lives. We're holding on to all that, but yeah, I just don't get, again, with the whole hierarchy thing. Who is above white people to suppress us, to oppress us, to be violent towards us in this country? Nobody. The system supports us in every way.
Hang on a second, John. I want to address somebody in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Marcella, why is it that people like you will come into this live and try to put up an argument that white people experience racism while using racist slurs in the same sentence?
For anyone wanting to join the panel, if we tap the screen and get it, how many likes do we want to get it up to?
1.5K.
Okay, so let's get it 1.5K, everybody, and then we'll open up the panel and get some conversations going. So if y'all give me just a minute of power tapping, I'd greatly appreciate it. Oh man, look at that go. We are so close, almost there. I think a little less than 500 left.
How can white people go through racism? We're not targeted by the banks. We're not targeted by the justice system. We're not targeted by police. We're not targeted by mortgage agencies. All these different things that we don't have to go through because we're white in this country. White tea. What are you talking about? And it just keeps, anybody can experience this.
And you had nothing, you need to take a long, hard look and think about why. I don't know how that's a black person's fault. Even with that 400-year head start. All right, go on. Sorry, John. What was that?
When we have about 1 in 5 white people today living off land they got for free from the Homestead Act. It's over 46 million Americans, white Americans, living off the land that they got from the Homestead Act.
Hello.
Can you give us your age, race, and pronouns?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Steez.
I'm 21. I'm black and I'm he.
All right, so what's your thoughts on the background?
I think white people experience racism
How?
because, right, people hear me, right, and they say I sound white, right? So, like, it's like when I go on, like, Xbox.
Boy, stop playing.
That was ridiculous.
Right.
Hello there.
Age check?
My age is 24. I was born in the year 2000. I believe that white people do experience racism. Remember when they were taken from their land and forced to work as slaves? Remember when they were forced to learn a language that wasn't theirs or else they'd face execution? Oh, wait a minute. Remember when you were white and being harassed on the street because of your skin tone by a cop? Oh, wait a minute. You don't. But white people experience racism.
The only place, I'm going to say it, the only time that white people experience racism is from the sun.
I'm sorry, you got me on that one.
So you don't think that Irish people that came over here experienced that?
Oh,
I mean,
Silver, go
prejudice
for
and
it.
racism are two different things.
So let's talk about the Irish. Are you Irish?
I'm a dual Irish citizen.
I can't hear you.
I'm a dual Irish American citizen.
Okay. And so you're going to tell me that us Irish people, somehow when we came over here on the contracts that we signed up for, that we were treated the same as chattel slavery?
We were pretty much on the same level as the
No,
Chinese,
don't do
Chinese and the
that.
blacks. Oh, so you're just
No.
gonna interrupt me? Yeah, just
Yes,
interrupt
I
me.
am, because you're using slurs and you're going to stop.
Wait, what slur did I use?
Stop and I'll tell you.
Chinese?
Can you mute?
Irish.
Can you mute?
Potato eater.
Irish?
Can you
Those are
mute?
nationalities. Those aren't slurs.
You
Those are
said
nationalities.
you said the plural of black. So stop. That is a slur, and you're not going to
Black?
continue to speak.
Black is a slur? You're a retard.
Jesus.
Fucking moron.
There he goes. Can't handle the conversation. There we go. There we go. There's white people. White people.
White people. Guys. I don't know how white people sound. No, just kidding, I do.
Hi, me. What's going on? What's your thoughts on the background? I'm sorry. Did I step in so Melody? What's your thoughts on the background?
I feel like what some people fail to understand is that racism is also a power structure, because if you look at people in positions of power who started basically all of like everything that happens, if you look at history that is slowly starting to repeat itself, you'll see that if a black person is quote unquote racist to a white person, there is no power in that.
I love Fiona.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm
Can you
good.
get your name, age, and pronouns, please?
Yeah, I'm 21. I'm Anna, and my pronouns are she, her.
Terrific. What are your thoughts on the background?
I just want to say I don't know what country everybody's like referring to, so I guess I can only speak for America. But
Yeah, we're referring to America.
yeah. Okay. So I'm a white American, and I just want to say I've absolutely never experienced racism in my life. I would say like the worst racism I've ever experienced was maybe like this isn't even racism, maybe being called like a cracker or something. I cannot think of a single time where I've been pulled over and feared for my life, or been, afraid that the reason I didn't get a certain job is because of my race, or the reason why I didn't get accepted into a certain school is because of my race. I've never felt in danger because of my race. I, as a white American, have never experienced anything even close to racism. That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
And what's your name again?
Anna?
Anna?
Yeah.
And see, what Anna just did is just give examples of white privilege.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
I
that's not
I
that
definitely
difficult.
benefit from white privilege. I think that any white person, any white American who says they don't have white privilege is just trying to look for an excuse to be oppressed.
Sounds like denial
Exactly.
Like, I'm in denial?
of the white person. I mean, like the white person denying that they like
Oh, yeah.
don't. Yeah. No.
100%. I completely agree. I think it's so silly to say that you don't experience any privilege as a white person in America.
Yeah. White denial is a huge problem in the white community.
Yeah. All right, so I want to get to the bottom guess. I can't see your name. I'm so. Do you want to give us your name, age, race, and pronouns?
Yeah, my name is Kevanian. I'm 25. and I'm he, him.
And your race?
I'm black.
Okay, what's your thoughts on the background?
Um, so I don't know. I've seen this before, and I can't, like, I'll say this, right? I don't think white people experience, or YT, sorry, experience racism. Obviously, you know, they're the main ones in a position of power, so it's a little bit different because they can use racism to their advantage. However, I wouldn't say that they don't experience racism at all. I don't know. I just have a hard time grasping that. Maybe it's because of how I was raised. I'm not saying that you're wrong. It's just me personally. I have a hard time grasping the fact that white people just cannot experience racism ever at all. And maybe you can educate me on that a little bit, but I don't know. That's just something I'm like, I don't know, because I've seen like white people get treated badly. I know you said maybe it's more of a prejudice thing than a racism thing, which I would love to know the definition between the two. That way I can know. But yeah, I don't know about the whole of white people don't experience racism at all, because I know they can
I
definitely
would say,
be
as a white
treated
person, to
badly.
me, I would say that it's a difference between racism and maybe prejudice. Like, I've definitely had people in my life, like, you know, not like me because I'm white or something like that. I don't think that's racism at all. I think that's, you
Could
know,
be a safety thing.
yeah, exactly. And I think it's in the same way that, like, I'm very
Wait, the
cautious
safety
around.
thing. What do you mean by that?
Well, like speaking as someone who's black and white, I just want to say, like, sometimes I obviously won't experience, because I am lighter, I won't experience the same prejudice that darker people have. But like when it's white, like, sorry, the whitey people being quote unquote racist, it's usually towards
Can
other
you not say that
white
on here?
people. I actually don't know.
Oh, okay. I guess be safe.
Just
Yeah.
for safety's sake, I'm gonna say whitey.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I feel like if it's a white person being whitey bleh, person being racist, it's usually just within other white people. Cause like, I'm just gonna say white. I don't think white's a bad word. So like, when white people experience racism, like, usually in my opinion, it's with other white people. Like, I feel like Jews and Italians and like just members of certain white
Can you
communities
say
all have
Jewish
beef with each
people?
other. And the safety, well, like, sometimes, so I had someone who was white that I thought was my friend, like, but they turn out to actually be secretly racist behind your back. Like, they'll try to touch your hair, be like, oh, do you do, treat you like an object. But yeah, in my
Right.
opinion, like, it could be a safety thing. Because also, and even if the white person isn't racist, from my experience, it's usually sometimes the parents you have to kind of watch out for. Because, like, if you're non-white, like, people, they'll probably have their opinions on you.
And it's systemic. Like, it's
I
the same way
I
that,
don't.
like, not all, like, cops are bad, but,
Can
like,
we do
you can
one at a
disagree with this
time?
concept.
Yeah, I don't know about the safety thing. I mean, I've been treated badly and bullied by more black people, way more than I ever have white people. So I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Are you black?
That's just,
Yeah,
that's not racism,
I already said I
though.
was.
That's not racism, though.
I know. The point
That's
is,
just
I'm
bullying.
just saying, like, though, like, I feel like it has more to do with. Sometimes it depends on the person, because you're talking about a safety issue. Like, I don't know. I don't know about that part. That just kind of seems a bit. What's the word?
So I think
I think that
Stereotypical.
person's saying
Which
that,
I
like, it's
understand.
like in America you are less safe as a black person. I don't think that's like an
Yeah,
opinion.
specifically
that's
to
the
the
thing.
US.
That's the thing. I've never experienced that. Maybe I'm just
Are you a
lucky.
black person?
Right, we need to go
Yes,
one
I
at a
just
time,
said
or
I
I'm gonna
was.
start dropping
Whoops, I'm
people.
sorry. Deaf ears.
That's
Yeah.
all right.
So, yeah, because you're at the bottom, I can't like actually see your name. So, what I wanted to say was that the thing is, and it goes back to prejudice as well, right? So, what you have to understand is that when prejudice is basically having a negative attitude without cause, right? And so when you look at history, YT people have given black people plenty of reason to feel, to have those type of feelings, right? So if they don't feel safe around YT people, if we don't feel safe around YT people, there's a justified explanation for that. So that's a completely different thing. Now, the difference between being prejudiced and being racist is that with racism, it's more than just having a negative attitude, right? It's more than just thinking that, let's say, for example, thinking that YT people don't season their food, right? It's all
Okay.
it's about the system of it's a system of oppression, but it's a structural system of oppression. So it includes laws and policies and practices. And so a lot of people don't realize that racism is more than just words, right? So there's this whole system that was basically created to oppress Black people and to keep YT people at the top. Now, I just want to ask you a question. Do you think that any demographic of people would create a system solely to benefit them while they would be able to be oppressed from that very same system at the same time?
Sorry. Can you say that again? Sorry. Do
I
I
said, do
think?
you think, yes, so do you think that any demographic would create a system with the sole purpose of benefiting them, and that system would be able to oppress them at the same time?
No.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense, would it?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So until and because and so what here's the thing, right? So people think of laws and policies and they say, "Oh, but some things are illegal now, right?" But just because it's illegal, it doesn't mean that it still doesn't happen, right? So
Right.
take unaliving, for example, the M word. That is illegal, but that still happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying? So that
Right.
is until YT people are in a position where they're on the receiving end, then they will not be able to experience racism. Now, that is not to say that they don't experience discrimination, because they certainly do. But
Mm-hmm.
and they can experience prejudice that is not based on the color of their skin. So say maybe YT women, for example, right? Or a YT gay man, for example, will experience prejudice. But as far as the straight white cis man, no, because that's not how the system was designed, and it was designed to benefit the cis het straight white man. Does
Mm.
that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. I guess I've not really experienced a lot of racism. So.
And I
um.
think also with racism as well, it's not all about, you know, the triple K or, you know, burning crosses or things like that. So it used to be, but it's the way that it's displayed is the only thing that has changed.
Mm,
So it's not always going to be in your face. That's what I'm
gotcha.
saying. So I don't like, I'm not, it's not up to me to determine how much racism that you have received,
I mean,
but like I
I
just
try
want to
not
like just
to.
let you know that it's still prevalent is what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, uh um somebody in the comments is saying I'm not black. Like what? You can literally go and I'm not even gonna worry about it. The point is, I was gonna say like I understand like racism is still like prevalent and stuff. Um, but I try not to like walk around with this kind of like a paranoia. Because I mean, obviously, if you look for racism, you're gonna find it. But
Well, I think racism will
I
find
mean,
you. I think it's the other way around.
probably. But like I said, I don't feel like I've been treated badly hardly ever in my 25 years of living. Maybe it's because of um, the way I was raised and who I'm around. But I mean, um, I don't know. I feel like I just find it interesting how like people are like, oh, if you're black in America, you have a reason to be scared. But like, I
I
have
mean, I
no
could
reason to be scared.
I could say the same thing about all men, that I have a reason to be scared of all men. But that doesn't mean that I walk around as if I am scared of all men.
Hmm.
Do you know?
I
But
think
if
gender
people
is a
are
big part of it
discussing,
too.
what's that?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just I think that gender can be a big part of it too. I think that black women can experience intersectionality in a way that black men probably can't.
Yeah,
So yeah,
if
that is
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Like, if I could
no,
also
I was just
piggyback
gonna
off of
say
that
that is
as
true.
well. Yeah, I use he, him, but I was assigned female at birth, so I'm still gonna face some of that prejudice for being assigned female at birth, along with the racial identity.
And probably transphobia as well.
Yeah, got three things.
Yeah, awesome, awesome.
Woohoo!
Right. Did
Yeah, I mean this. Well, I appreciate y'all letting me come in because there was another live I was in where they were talking about like interracial couples or whatever, and I kind of said some things that didn't agree with, and they like were saying, "Oh, well, you're not welcome in the space no more," which I find it funny how this is a conversation, but the minute you don't agree with something somebody says, they kick you. But I appreciate you having me, and I've learned some things. I just feel like me personally, um, I don't feel like racism has been a prevalent thing in my life, which I'm very thankful. Maybe it will happen as I get older, but most of the people I come in contact with, I feel like I automatically get along with them pretty well. Now, racism can be very subtle, can be very passive aggressive, and I know that's something I have to look out for. But I don't know, as a black man in America, I feel like most of the time I'm chilling. But that's just me.
All right. Well, yeah, thanks for coming up. I'm gonna swap you out because there's like people waiting in the requests, but feel free if you have any other questions, all right? Grammy.
Hey, I sent you an adjusted background. I didn't know if you got my message. You couldn't see it. Now I can see it.
Well, I can see your messages. Like as they were popping up, but I haven't actually opened it up to read it yet.
I couldn't see the background, but now I can. I don't know. It was weird. Can everybody? I was worried you guys weren't able to read it.
Can everyone else read it?
It was all cut off on one side. Can you guys in the comments see it?
I can read it.
I
Yeah,
can read
this one I
it
can
just
read.
fine.
I can too now that I'm in the box, but when I was in the comments, it was cut off on the, it's a little off center. I sent you a new one that I think might cause it to center, because when you only have the 6 boxes, I think it throws off the centering.
Yeah.
So I cut off the right side and resent it to you. And that might make it, it's either the right side or the left side that's got to go. How long have you been live?
Yeah, I see it now. Not long.
Oh, I fell asleep earlier. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Grammy.
Let me go on mute.
I passed out. I'm curious to find out if it's the right side or the left side.
Do you want me to drop to open up a box?
Let me drop. I'm
I
not
think
talking at all.
you're
I'm
good
just
for now. I'm
kind
gonna
of
swap some
listening.
people out.
I'm just going to drop.
I didn't know if you wanted 6 or if you were wanting 8 anyway, or just couldn't figure out how to get it there.
Oh
I couldn't
gosh,
figure it out the
no.
other day.
Yeah, I don't want 8. Good Lord. Let me
Yeah,
see who's next.
boxes, you get a lot of pressure from the comments to fill the boxes.
Yeah.
What words are we not allowed to say on here?
So there's the M word, obviously, the K word.
Is it just those like violent like words like that? Like we can say other stuff about this and
You know, we got to say YT, we got to say pew
Okay.
pew. I would say like big boomy thing, and you know what I mean, like instead of like a BOMB, things like that.
Hey, Essential, would you please mute? I believe you have a little bit of an echo.
Oh, my bad. I didn't even know you let me in.
Yeah, no worries. If you wouldn't mind, like doing the little swipe out, swipe back in thing for the echo.
So do your, what is it called, John? I almost said paper airplane, but that's not it. Airplane mode.
Yeah, if you go to airplane mode and turn it on and off a couple times, leave it off, and when you come back, you should be able to. The echo will be gone.
I have a question
How's that?
for
Hang on, Fiona.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Grammy, how's that? Is that better?
That's the comments, because since I'm up here, I'm thinking it's probably better because now the E on the end is cut off up here, but it's probably perfect in the comments. Is that better in the comments? Who was it that said it was off center earlier? I'm going back up to see who it was. That's who we
I
need to
think it was
ask.
drop.
I think it might have been. I'm scrolling, I don't see it. Does it look more centered, y'all?
Nope. I see a lot of people are saying
It's better? You can
a
read
lot
the
of
whole
people are
thing?
saying it's better.
Okay. It's sick? What's so sick about it? Palagliosis? Is it sick because you're uncomfortable and can't have these conversations? Guys, according to Luglis, it's race bouting. This is race bouting.
Spouting.
No. Oh no.
Oh no.
You're a bunch of race bouters.
Could I ask a question really quick? To the black people in here, as a white person, I'm just curious. My perception and like my exposure to like learning about racism against black people in America has been mostly centered around like cops and stuff. So I was wondering like what has been y'all's experience with cops?
I've had some positive, some negative.
Well, actually, funny enough, my uncle on my dad's side, which is the black side, was a cop. And so I think he was the sheriff of our own old hometown, but funny enough, he was also killed by cops. And I think they were his friends.
You can't say that word. You gotta say unalived.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Unalive. My bad. Sorry, guys.
Get on my other phone really quick on my other account and look at this because some people say it's okay and some people say it's off.
Yeah, this one looks off to me, but the first one didn't.
And it looked off when I was down there, but it didn't when I got up here.
Yeah, when I was in the comments, it looked fine to me.
Yeah, same with me. When I was in the comments and on the panel and then went back down, like kind of that up and down I did, it was always centered the entire time.
It's highly likely. Jump scoop up.
So, does everybody in this live believe that caption that's written?
Yeah.
I would hope not.
I do.
I mean, I believe that white people do not experience racism. Absolutely. How could they?
I mean,
Wow, that's wild.
I don't believe they can either.
So, how do you guys define racism then?
In all
'Cause I don't
reality, when
believe-
white
I don't
people
believe that
sit
at
at the
all.
top of the hierarchy, when white people sit at the top of the racial hierarchy, how could they experience racism? There's nobody above them to press down. I mean, they could experience bigotry and hatred and lots of other things, but not racism.
So,
Yeah, it
Brandon,
kind of reminds
how do
me
you-
of like when some Christians say that Christians are oppressed in America. It's really just like not applicable when you're the majority. Like you could
Like a
experience
billionaire saying that they're oppressed because of classism.
exactly. Like it's just really not applicable. Maybe you have your own struggles within that category. I'm not saying that you don't experience any problems because of your race, maybe, but that's just not racism.
So, if you're talking about systemic racism, then I would agree with you, yeah, because they don't experience that here. But racism is a very broad word, and it doesn't always have to be systemic. For example, you can experience racism
Racism is
on an
actually structural.
Can you please let me finish? So again, you can
Actually,
experience
no. I
racism.
can interrupt
She'll
you at any
speak if
point.
she wants to.
Exactly.
Interrupt people.
I
They're
can
the
do what I
host.
please.
If you interrupt her again, I'm going
Like,
to drop
seriously.
Goodbye.
You can if you want. I'm just saying it's rude to interrupt people.
You were spreading false information. I was correcting you.
You're
Well,
coming
that's
in way
not
too
false.
hot, dude. Just say your opinion in a calm way.
How can I do that if she interrupts me?
You can just keep
First
it
of all,
pushing.
not if
We've been
you-
talking about interrupting for 10 seconds now when you could have just said your
Yes.
opinion.
you. Me to go over
I don't
the
interrupt people. That's why
live
I
really
show
quick.
respect.
So melanated so that everybody's aware.
Okay,
There
so
is
again,
an order here.
Racism.
First of
racism
all,
is-
essential.
Stop
There's an
interrupting.
order. There's an order, and the host will address you when it's your turn. You've taken the opportunity, so apparently it's going to be your turn, okay? However, you're not going to interrupt people. And if someone interrupts you that is the host or a mod, which would be me, John, and Silver on the panel. I don't know if anybody else is a mod. But if they interrupt you, you need to stop talking, especially if it's the host, right? Because it's their live and it's their panel and things need to go their way. They may have something to add. They may have something to correct. Either way, it is their live. Freedom of speech is not granted on these panels. If you want freedom of speech, you have to start your own live. On this panel, you're only free to speak when the host says so.
And now you've wasted so much time about this interrupting where you could have said your opinion 10 times by now.
Right. So I'm gonna swap a couple of people out. So John, can I drop you to the comments?
I know you hear the host speaking. I know you hear her speaking, and you keep unmiking yourself or unmuting yourself. Stop it. I'm just going to keep muting you until you can remain muted on your own. If you are not an adult enough man to remain muted, then you'll just keep getting muted and I will spend a half an hour doing this. I have nothing better in my life to do. In fact, I enjoy this. I think it's fun and I find it hysterical that you're showing your emotional mantrum fit that you're throwing by unmuting yourself every freaking second. It is childish and it is immature. The host was not done speaking. They'll address you when it is your turn to talk. Until then, you should do what everybody else is doing and remain muted until the host addresses you.
And you know what the funny thing is? I'm looking at the comments, right? And people are saying, let him speak. The host is afraid, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually trying to make room so that I can bring up more people that disagree. So what the hell are you guys talking about?
I got the mute button, so if, you know, I mean, I'll do it all day.
John, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, I thought maybe you were making a Miracle Whip sandwich or something.
No, but that is a good idea.
Right? No, I was saying that I'm gonna drop you down to the comments.
Oh, I came on and said okay. I thought you did already. That's why it took me a minute to get to my phone.
Oh,
Yeah, no problem. I'm here. I'm listening. I'll
all right,
request it if I
thanks.
need to. Yep, no problem.
This fool is still unmiking his microphone. Instead of sitting there like a grown up. Unless somebody else is hitting the button too.
It's
But
because they're a Tyler the Creator fan. They're all annoying like this.
Okay, well that's fine. I got all day. I mean,
Can I
I
swap
don't have a
someone else
job.
out?
I don't have a life. I literally have all day. Everybody here knows it. So I got the mic. Don't nobody else worry about it. Let me have fun.
Right? Can someone else drop to the comments?
You can drop me if you need to. I can do this from you.
You could drop me too. I'm pretty much just in agreement with everyone else on here.
I just came up to say hi.
All right.
Too. I just wanted to say hello. And yeah.
Oh, you're good for now. I just wanted an even panel. That's all.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Desmo,
Yes, ma'am.
can you? Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. Can you
It's
give
all
us
right.
your age, race, and pronouns?
I'm 41. My race, I will not answer anything but American, and my pronouns are he, him. If
And
anybody
what are
needs
your
an
thoughts?
explanation on, if anybody needs an explanation on why I only identify as American, I will be happy to explain.
Yeah, we don't care. We just what are your thoughts on the background?
I think anybody of any race can experience racism. I think it's been going on as far back as time immemorial. And I think it's not only, in fact, not only do I think, but I have personally seen that this is something that not only affects, say, relationships between the black community, the white community, the Asian community, the Latino community. It's also something that's intra-race. I have a cousin, okay, who was light-skinned. He was a young black man that was light-skinned. I've seen him cry into his mom and dad's shoulders because the black side of his family treated him like crap because, and I quote, he was too white to be black. I've seen it on so many different levels. You cannot tell me after 42 years almost of seeing all of this from everybody that it's just the white people. You can't tell me it's just us. Every race has somebody they hate as a race. Every race. It does not matter. You can go to so many different cultures and see who it is they hate, and they have some specific race that they have a hatred of. And do they know why? No, they don't. They can't explain. They just know they do. So to say that we can't experience racism, that's completely incorrect. We can experience racism. We can experience bigotry. And it happens every day. Just because it's not out in the open where people are not, shoving it into your face doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Somebody had said earlier that, well, if a black person had a bad experience with a white person, maybe they're not being racist towards, the rest of the whitey people. Maybe it's the fact that, they had a bad experience with whitey people and they're being wary of them. Could not the opposite also apply? I'm asking that. Can the opposite of that coin not also apply?
Right. Okay. Go on mute for a minute. I'm gonna get back
Yes,
to
ma'am.
you. Black Gnostic.
Sorry, due to my complex European spelling of my name, it's often mistranslated. Chokistani, Chokistan is a really weird language. It's a lot like English. I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna do my North real quick. I'm Blake No Stick of the No Sticks of West Texas. Hey him. I'm a black person, and yeah, just call me Blake. And I wanted to address the topic, if that's all right.
Go for it.
All right. So, well, I just wanted to DV domestic violence Desmo. I wanted to I wanted to ask a question. Not for you to unmute, of course, because nobody wants that to happen again. But I want to go back to the pronouns just real quick because so melanated. I've been here before and I know how important that is. So domestic violence just did us a favor and let us know that he is as white as the mayonnaise that fell from a hot dog at a Cowboys game and then hardened as it lost all of its moisture, much like DV. But DV, when it comes to your pronouns, we've already figured out that you're part of the white American race. I said waste race, my bad. When it comes to your pronouns, if I was to say, in reference to you, domestic violence Desmo, you don't wash your ass. When I say he wash his ass, she doesn't wash her ass, or they don't wash their ass.
Boy, got you.
Bill, I like that one. No surrender, no quarter, and no washcloth. That's clever. Once again, domestic violence Desmo. He doesn't wash his ass. She doesn't wash her ass. Or they don't wash their ass.
And as for whoever said they can tell why I'm divorced, the reason why I chose to divorce my ex-wife was the fact that my ex-wife gave a 28-year-old man access to our 13-year-old daughter, who then became a teen mom at 14. So I will thank you very much about that statement. Whoever said that.
Domestic.
As for you making fun of my accent and stuff and domestic violence,
you should have chosen better, partner. You should have chosen better. Once again, we need to know your pronouns. All right, I is a pronoun, so you know something about it. So can we just please? Oh no, I know you didn't say. Was it your black friend? Big Trouble, Little China Fingers. You, that was a tough one. DV. He doesn't wash his ass. She doesn't wash their ass. Or they don't wash their ass. Which ones?
Pronouns are he, him.
Excellent. Okay, I'm done. Thank you so much, Melanated.
All right, let's. You hang tight.
And I appreciate the absolute disrespect.
Hey, Jeff, can you introduce yourself? Jeff, Bubba.
Yeah.
Can you give us your age, race, and pronouns?
My age is 31. My race is American. And my pronoun is I'm a problem.
Yes, you are. Well, what's your thoughts on the background?
Nothing. It just showed right there. Black racism against white people. That's all I had to do.
All right, go back on mute. Trouble, introduce yourself.
Big Trouble. I'm 47. Black, and I am 47.
And what are your thoughts on the background?
Do white people experience racism? Absolutely not. And you can experience maybe bias, racial bias, or racial prejudice, but there's nothing that Black and brown people can do to cause any sort of negative impact to their life or any inequitability to them. There's literally nothing we can do that can negatively impact your life. We can't. So the whole idea of racism has to do with hate. That's not the case. I mean, the definition for racism goes so much deeper. They're looking at the top layer of it instead of looking at the whole definition, and that's called cherry picking, so that it suits it suits their narrative. But that we wouldn't have had racism if you guys didn't create it. How about that? But yeah, no, you can't experience racism, racial bias, or racial prejudice. And guess what? That racial bias and racial prejudice is from the actions of your ancestors and your people. Yep. Also, to DV Desmo, I find it weird that you put the blame directly on your wife without taking responsibility, because if she was your wife, that means you were there in the household. So which means you are part of the problem. So you bear 50% of the responsibility. It's wild that you just dumped all that on your wife. But anyway, I digress.
You can say that, but it's funny when the DHS reports say the same thing as what
Grammy, where you at? Check this out. I'm gonna get in. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop Blake for a little bit. A 28-year-old man came around your. Excuse me. You were scared of that 28-year-old man talk to your 13-year-old daughter. See, that's why you didn't say nothing because you scared of men. You would have rather let your daughter take that DV that I already found out about you from your name, because you ain't denying it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You could have stopped and intervened because you're empowered by the patriarchy, right? All right, so you're more than 50% of responsibility because socially there's a hierarchy. You're at the top of that being a Wahite man. All right, so don't bring your wife up about how a 28-year-old man got access to your 13-year-old daughter, because it was you. You did it. You failed your child.
You know, for somebody that knows absolutely jack shit about me, you got a lot of very informed and educated opinions. I love hearing people that don't know shit about me tell me things I never knew in the first place. It's amazing what I learn about myself from people who don't know me.
Observation is a lot.
Black people always be the motherfuckers that want to talk shit to a white motherfucker and not know shit.
Dude, your name was Bubba. I
What
mean, really don't have any.
what did I say? Well, like for real. No, I want to have this little back and forth, right? What did I say that you didn't volunteer? I didn't know anything about you, domestic violence.
You know, the fact you're still sitting here running your cock holster, making insults about me, says plenty enough.
That's right. I love me a boy and I love me a meat. I sure do. And what? And guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? It's big like your black friend. You know what I mean? The one you was talking about earlier? How about that? How about that? Anyway, so anyhow, I didn't speak of anything that you didn't volunteer yourself. No one brought your children into this, right? No one brought your partner into this. Nobody brought your unnamed, mysterious black friend into this conversation. You did that yourself. And now when somebody takes that information and dissects it and smacks it and flips it and turns it upside down and says the obvious, you're like, oh, I didn't have custody of my kid. How come you didn't have custody? Domestic violence? Huh? Oh, well, she wasn't under my care. How come you weren't talking to your child, even though you and your wife are separated? Why didn't you have a connection? Why didn't she feel comfortable coming to you to tell you about her new 28-year-old friend? You know that there's real fathers on this app, right?
You wanna know why I don't have custody? Shit like
No,
that.
I don't
Why
care.
don't you look at the court system? I'm not privileged in the court system because of my
you don't
race.
have custody of your child because a child should never be under your care. That's why. Period. This is one of the few times, right, that the justice system worked. All right, from keeping an
How many times do
uneducated,
white men lose custody of their
tokenizing-
children? Every time.
I don't care. I don't care if white men lose their children 100% of the time. You want to know why? Because my people lost their children 100% of the time when you had us in chains.
Your people no longer have chains and they're still losing.
Indigenous people lost.
Hang on,
Indigenous
Black. Hang on,
people.
Black. Bubba, shush. I want to say something. I can't have so many people talking at. Bubba, you know what? At least I have a neck. Anyway.
Bubba, I got something I want to say to you. So please don't leave. Please just stick around in the comments because I think you want to hear it. I was a 15-year-old teen mom myself. So I have something I want to say to you.
Right. So I was going to say that after Black says what he's saying, I want to hear from Grammy. I was going to hear from DV, but he's gone. And then we can hear from, sorry, I can't take you seriously.
Maybe
we can hear
DV.
from Jeff afterwards. All right, so Black, were you finished?
Oh, I just wanted to end with this. Bubba don't have a neck beard. He has a chest beard. I'm done.
All right, Grammy.
Oh, I want to point out, first of all, that I think it was really crappy of you to blame your wife the way that you did. Because there's a couple of realities here that I think you need to hear, DB. One, Black is right. You are equally, if not more, responsible for your daughter's situation than your wife is. Because to be quite honest, as someone who has daddy issues, a whole lot of them, I know what they can do. And I guarantee you that your daughter running into the arms of a 28-year-old man didn't have anything at all to do with your wife and had everything to do with you and either your over exertion into her life or your lack of being in her life. Period, hands down. Also, that being said, I think it's important that you should understand that teenagers do what teenagers do, and teenagers are teenagers. You should have educated your daughter in a way that she should have been able to, hopefully, unless it was a bad situation, like use protection, right? That's where my mom failed. She didn't bother to talk to me about any of those things. And in fact, when the neighbor girl went to her mom the year earlier and asked her mom if she could be put on birth control, I distinctly remember hearing my mom say, "Oh, I'm never going to put Grammy on birth control. I'm not doing that. That's just going to make her go have sex." So instead I had sex without birth control because I knew I couldn't go to my mom. That's something you need to think about, DB. You and your wife need to think about. I think it's really fucked up that your kid is even in this situation. And I hope that you're there as a support system for her. And running your mouth about her mother is not being a support system for her. That's all I got. Other than that, it's going to get really nasty.
Right, the man. Go ahead and unmute.
Hey, what's up? What's up? How you guys doing?
You give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Age 30, race black, and pronouns he, him.
And your thoughts on the background.
I can't. Well, I don't know. I think so. I think they experience hatred. Yeah, they do. I
They
think so.
experience hatred.
Yeah, I feel like they experience hatred.
Okay, but do they experience racism?
I don't know. I think so. Yeah, I think that they do. I do.
All right, hang on a second. Well, we're gonna have a conversation. Hang on a second.
All right, no problem.
While you're having him hang on, I have a quick question. Oh God, I'm not calling you that. Sir, are you on a roller coaster? Because that sounds like you're on a roller coaster.
Nah, I'm a passenger in the vehicle right now.
It sounds like you're on a
Are you?
roller coaster.
I wish I was on a roller coaster. I love roller coasters.
Me too.
Are y'all transporting several mason jars?
Mason jars. I don't think so. Not the mason jars.
So I have a question for a gentleman at the top. What systems can Black and brown people put in place that can disenfranchise white people? What can we systemically do to harm them? Like, can you give me an example?
What
Because racism is more than just hate.
Oh, it's system. Oh, you talking about systemic? You talk about like laws and
No, I'm saying what
policies and stuff
system?
like that, right?
What policies? Because it has to do with making something inequitable and disenfranchising. It's not just hatred. There's a whole lot more to the definition.
Okay, you know what I'm gonna point to? I'm gonna point to why the government had to what they had to establish AA and DEI, right? If you look at the statistics, right, who is the beneficiary of that, right? So you look at the numbers don't lie.
White women.
Numbers don't lie. Exactly. So that means to make them equal, right? To make them equal, to make it a fair playing field in the workforce and education they take advantage of those policies in order to have some type of equality. You know what I'm saying? So this is that's just one aspect of it. You know, you could look at um
So,
go
to
ahead.
that, okay, so you mentioned the DEI, so that's about diversity and inclusion. Do you understand why we have had and still have to have stuff like diversity and inclusion in America?
Oh yeah, we do because there's an equitable representation factor in it. That's why they they instituted it. The what the government and companies and stuff like that.
Could I ask a question, please?
But yeah,
Sorry about that. I had to take a call. I caught the gist of it. So, like, DEI doesn't do anything that's going to negatively impact white people whatsoever. It's not going to stop them from progressing. It's not going to redline them. It literally does no harm. Inclusion, diversity is like it says there for a specific reason, because thus far, and it continues to have issues with being diverse. And you see now they're making big pushes to take a lot of that out, right? Why
yep.
would you think that it's a good thing
Good thing for what?
to remove diversity and inclusion?
Oh, because of the numbers. I believe in merit based system, but because by the numbers, we don't take advantage of the programs as much as certain other communities and genders and stuff like that. So to make it equitable, and have a fair, you know, I think a fair representation of experience of, you know, who's the best for the job, right? Because that's what's most important. What's most important is like not how you look is the best person for the job. That's why I'm all in favor for merit based,
So,
true merit based.
okay, so that's wild that I'm having to
Big
explain this.
Trouble, could I ask a quick question? Just real
Go
quick. It
ahead.
ain't gonna be. All right, let me ask you a question. In a country and in a system that's founded on white supremacy, if whiteness is a merit, how can black people possess the merit of whiteness?
So you talking about white supremacy? Where do you see that at? 'Cause I don't see.
Excuse me. Excuse me. You said yourself that DEI programs existed. They had to be created by white people because of racism in institution and in businesses, right? Like you've
Well,
acknowledged that.
I
Did you concede to
acknowledge.
that? Did you
I
concede to
concede.
that?
Oh,
Okay, fantastic,
wait,
excellent.
hold on. Are you gonna
Okay,
let
so
me
my
answer the
hold on,
question,
no, no,
or
no,
are
no,
you gonna
no, because
steamroll
I
me, or are you gonna
because
strong
no,
arm me?
because
Because
I
you
am
asked a question.
no, I am not listening. Listen. This is a line of questions, and I listened to you talk, and now I'm responding for you. And I told Big Trouble I was gonna be quick about this, but you making it take long. Please allow me to be concise. Okay.
I'll let you
Now
talk.
here's the
I'll let you
next thing I'm going to say to
monologue.
you. Okay, thank you. About time. So here's my next thing. I'm gonna just get to the point because I can't have no damn fun on this app today. Um, Donald John Trump eliminated racial sensitivity training in the very beginning of his term, and then what we saw in the states that had Smushmortian trigger laws and were talking about how much they hated CRT and who they were trying to get everybody back to work in normality, they actually started outlawing CRT, right, to be
taught in schools and colleges, and then it went all the way down to the elementary schools. And in states where I live, like Oklahoma, our state superintendent, Ryan Walters, has decreed that the Bible has to be taught in school. And when I say taught in school, I mean directly from the Bible. They'll say, hey, what's 12 times 12? And then they'll open up the Bible and says whatever God thinks it is, and then they'll get a 100 on their test. Okay, all right, and then
That was a
also we have to remember that.
misrepresentation.
Excuse me,
That
excuse me, excuse
that
me.
was a
Why is your
misrepresentation. That's
sentence touching
misinformation.
mine? I'm on mute.
That's misinformation. But okay.
We
It's
can.
All right,
not
it's not
First
misinformation.
of
It
all,
isn't
first
missing.
no, it
And
is
here's the. I'm not
misinformation,
done.
sir. I've read
Not done.
it.
I'm not
I've read the bill, and
Speak one at a
you
time.
know, and that's not
one
I'm
at a
done.
time.
I don't
You
want to
haven't
mute
read.
people. Please don't make me mute grown men. Please don't make me mute grown men. Okay? Let's all speak one at a time. Thank you.
I'm gonna wrap it up now. It's not misinformation because earlier
it
this
is.
year,
Big
the state
fact.
superintendent Ryan Walters, partnered with PragerU, all right, with their educational programming that's literally thousands of videos, and they're already mainlined into the classrooms because they can just put up a website to watch these videos, okay? And so that's what it is. I'm sorry to tell you.
Okay, was that it?
Where do you get your source from for that?
Before I
Because
let
that's not
anybody
what
else
I
go?
read.
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Well,
Thank
no,
you
where do
very
you get your
much.
source
Go
from? Because you
ahead,
make claims
man.
and you have
Go
no
ahead.
proof of this.
Sure, I'm
You just
trying to
talking.
give you the floor. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
And then after you, we're going to go to Bubba.
Okay. All right. So for this guy in the bottom right here, first of all, how they worded it was a historical document. It's not even a religious document. How they pass a law, it was as a historical document, and it's not the Bible; it's the Ten Commandments. So I don't know what source you're getting your information from, but I was stop being on Reddit and reading what's on Reddit and actually go to a reliable source. Like Reuters or AP. That's a pretty good source, pretty unbiased source. So again, what was he before he knocked? I forgot because he asked a question. He started rambling. What was he even talking about?
Want a minute to think about it? That's fine. We can have.
White tea supremacy, right? Okay. So can you show me a law or policy or anything that supports this, like in government, this the white tea supremacy you're talking about? Because according to my understanding, there's the EEO laws, there's anti-discrimination laws, there's like I said, AA laws. There's a lot of different type of laws to combat what you're talking about. So can you point to me like any type of policies or anything to combat white tea, specifically white tea
So,
supremacy?
so literally the Constitution, because we have an amendment, the Constitution was originally written for white men with land, right? Not for us, because we have an amendment. So from the very beginning, this nation was founded on white supremacy.
Okay, but is that amendment that you're talking about still current? The 3/5 Amendment? Are you talking about that? Is that still active today in
I'm
2024?
talking about the system, the foundation of this nation, its
Okay, but in
foundation.
2024, I'm talking about in 2024, not in 1775
Well,
or
you
whatever.
can't
I'm
ask.
talking about
You asked for
in
something, and
right now.
I gave you an example.
Oh, okay. So let me specify. Currently, in 2024, can you point to
Systems that were
any
here when
type?
this country was founded are still here. So I would think about that for a second, and we're going to go ahead and go on to Bubba so that we don't get stuck with a backlog because I'm pretty sure there's people in the queue.
Yeah,
Is that
I'm
okay with
about to.
everybody?
I'm about to drop. Yeah, I'm about to drop. I just wanted to ask. When I say you said you mentioned the Ten Commandments.
no, actually, I'm sorry. It's a Louisiana was the Ten Commandments. Oklahoma, it was a Bible, but both places it was passed under a historical document. It wasn't passed a religious doctrine or anything like that. So I mean, it will be taught more on a historical context, because if you actually read the Bible, there's actually kings and queens that were mentioned that actually ruled. Like Caesar was mentioned in the Bible, Titus, like these Rome and Babylon and Egypt and places like that. So I think from my understanding, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, it's going to be taught more along those lines than on a religious line. But if you have sources to refute me, then like I said, by all means.
No, I just wasn't clear what you meant by the Ten Commandments. My son was talking to me.
But
But no, that's
that's what I'm saying. Louisiana, if they pass the Ten Commandments, will be taught from K through college, right, as a historical document. But Oklahoma is going to be more of the whole Bible is going to be taught as like a historical document.
okay. So to that, since you mentioned that, when you see depictions of people from the Bible, what are they predominantly? When you see depictions, did he go?
No, I'm here.
No, he's still there.
Oh, okay. When you see depictions of people from the Bible, historically, what are they depicted as?
Well, if you read the the areas of land, is Egypt. Egypt is Africa, right? Obviously, is Ethiopia is in the Bible. It's Judea. It's Samaria.
But I'm
If
asking
you read,
specifically the people, when they show depictions of the people, what have they been historically? From Jesus to anybody else, what have they been historically?
you mean the Europeanized versions concepts? Oh, from European perspective, it's white tea people. But if you look at Ethiopian Bibles, right, everybody in the Bible is black and brown. So, and that's the original. That's actually where it came from, like Ethiopia, that region, Ethiopia. If you look at the Dead Sea Scrolls and stuff like that, if you look at depictions of the Bible, even up until Revelations, right? They mentioned that Jesus had what hair of wool, and he had bronze skin and the hair of wool. I don't know any white tea man with hair of wool and bronze skin. I mean, that's not accurate. So I mean,
Exactly. And so they still depict Jesus as a
well,
white man, even with that
well, some,
description. That's King
well,
James
some,
version of the Bible with that.
yes, yeah, King James version, obviously, but not all Christians follow the King James version. Obviously, you know that there's different. Like I said, Ethiopian Christians, more Orthodox Christians, more that follow more of what is actually, if you read the context of the Bible and the locations of the people and the lands, it's all in. Like I said, Ethiopia is in Africa, like Egypt is in Africa. Was it Judea? That's in that Liberia, Libya, and Syria and stuff like that. All those people of those areas are black and brown people. So, I mean, if you see a picture of a white man Jesus, it's just wildly inaccurate. It doesn't even go.
That's what,
It doesn't
oh,
even follow scripture.
I'm about to drop. Drew, I just now realized who you are. What's up? Man, are you up here playing, dude?
Yeah, I got Let me tell you, I got bananas, so I had to come. I gotta come.
I just now realized you. I thought I recognized the voice. Man, I know you know better than this. Cause now you're up here playing. You just trying to be opposition.
No,
But anyway, I gotta
I'm
drop.
not being up. I'm not. I'm really trying to be informative and try to learn. Like I'm not trying to be no app, bro.
Oh man, I gotta drop. Hey, I'm probably gonna be in Brooklyn next month, so I'll try to holler at you.
Got you, bro.
All right, man.
All right, brother.
Thank you, fingers. Go ahead, Black Gnostic, and then Bubba, you were going to be next after Black Gnostic. Now you're gone.
All right, Blake Gnostics, West Texas. All right, so quick mod announcement over here, y'all. It's 22 people in here. All right, if all of y'all give 150 taps, we can be on here in a 15K right quick in a hurry, probably by the end of this mod announcement. If you ain't into tapping, I totally understand. Another thing you can do is look right on at the top of that screen where it says King of the Hill. Damn it, Bobby. And you can go ahead and give some of them there, let them cooks, because boy, we've been fricasseeing up a chalky or two on this live for you, and you know you likes this conflict, so please, please, please let the algorithm know that you likes this conflict. So Melanating and all us good people up here giving this great education can continue to do so. If you don't want to do that, you can also hold that big old beautiful ombre pink to purple box right next to me and just hold it down with your little thumb, and a list of all of your bestest friends is gonna come right on up, and you just hit send, and you just send your little heart out. It's gonna count as an individual send, which is gonna once again make the algorithm go, oh, I like that engagement, I like it. So honestly, what we're saying is that we know you love us, and the labor that we are doing on here must mean that we love you. All right. And so we need some reciprocity up in here from y'all. All right. Because that ain't nothing that hurts worse than unreciprocated love. Oh, and also one more thing. The man, since I know you a troll, I'm just going to go ahead and get to it. Spider-Man is set in New York City. Does that mean Spider-Man comic books are historical documents because New York City exists?
I mean, you could believe whatever you want to believe. I mean, I'm just going by what they're saying out of their legislative, out of their mouth. That's not me. I'm not speaking for them. I'm just letting you know what these people are saying. It's just so. I mean,
Well, you did check the source after I got done speaking and saw that I was correct about what I said with Oklahoma. I saw you get on that AP.
the AP. Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma is about. I got Louisiana open because Louisiana, Oklahoma, what do you call it? Passed around the same time. So, and it was like basically the same. It was similar. So I got the. I'm sorry, I got the two mixed up.
Here's the thing: the same people who write those bills in Louisiana, they write the same ones here in Oklahoma. But Oklahoma is a little bit extreme because there's a lot of public spotlight here, and so a lot of the times, what happens in our legislature is the candidates will say publicly what they are going to do, and then they'll go ahead and write a bill a little bit later, and then pass it on a quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah, that sounds about right with government. The government don't even. I think they should have put it up to vote. Honestly, they should have put instead of just making laws. They should put it up. Everything should be put up to vote. Honestly, if you want to get
True
technical.
democracy, yeah.
But we got a special interest democracy now, where special interests and corporate interests matter more than the people and what the people want. So it sucks. We got all these PACs and super PACs that control America. So can't even get a third party in the presidential race if you wanted to. The last third party candidate that was viable was Ross Perot, and that was back in like '92. So yeah,
Jasmine Sherman is viable AF.
yeah, that's true.
Uh,
That's true. I gotta look into it.
After that debate, Jill Stein started doing Jill Steinem. I don't know. I don't know. Started doing TikTok lives.
Yeah, yeah. I actually I like a policy. Like I'm all for universal education, universal health care. Um, you know, defunding the military. You know what I'm saying? The workers programs and stuff like job training programs, like how what FDR did with the New Deal and stuff like that. I'm actually I'm for that. For the American people. get us going again. You know.
Right. I want to hear from Essential.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I think he's been
I'll mute.
able to practice. So you can stay put. I think he's been able to practice impulse control. So go ahead and speak your piece.
All right. So if you look up racism in the dictionary, it'll tell you that it is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism on the basis of someone's race. So if I, as a black man, if I am prejudiced against anybody on the basis of their race, including white people, I am racist. If I am antagonistic to them on the basis of their race, again, I am being racist. Or if I am discriminatory to them on the basis of their being race, I am being racist.
I can feel like there are a few people that are itching to respond. So, Eli.
You said you were a black man? I'm sorry, my name is Eli. I'm 37 years old. I'm black and him. You said them, but then included yourself as a black man? Essential?
Of course. Why would I leave myself out of it?
No, you literally said them.
Them
Multiple
referring to
times.
what? Them referring to what?
Black people. Other black people.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course you don't. You immediately forgot.
I mean, you can
said.
restate my statement if you feel like, but I genuinely don't know what you're talking about.
You had said that if you had discriminated against a black person, you are racist as someone who is black.
No, you misunderstood me. So I said, if I, as a black man, if I'm discriminatory against anybody, a white person, an Asian person, or even a black person, even my own race, if I'm discriminatory to them on the basis of their race, then I am being racist.
I mean, based on the fact that you basically S the white man's D, yes.
Okay, so then you agree that black people can be racist and then white people
I
can
believe
experience
you
it.
can be racist, not black people as a whole.
Repeat that? I didn't hear you.
I believe you specifically can be racist because, again, you are S-ing the white man's D. That doesn't make all black people racist because you are one person and there are 13 million others of us.
So you think it's possible for one black person in the world to be racist, but all the
I think
others
it's
to not be
possible
racist?
for
Is
you.
that right?
I think it's possible for you to be so entrenched in your own self-hatred that you don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth are white supremacy. Yes.
Okay, and can you explain to me how I am being self-hatred right now?
Will the host allow that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm more than
You're not
curious.
the host, but Eli, go ahead.
Okay. How are you being self-hating right now? You literally just named an example where you wanted to discriminate against people who look exactly like you. That's
No, I didn't. I never said I wanted to discriminate against anybody. I
Are
said
you gonna
if
let
I
me?
did.
Are you gonna let me answer the question, or are you gonna talk over me?
Well, you lied. You
Are
said
you
I
gonna
want.
let
You
me
said I
answer the
wanted
question?
to
Or are you
be
gonna talk over me?
discriminatory against someone, and
Are
that's
you
a
gonna
lie.
Are you gonna let me answer the question? You're gonna talk over me and then explain yourself when I am done.
I'll let you talk as long as you want, as long as you don't lie.
Shut up, then.
Here's the
Okay.
thing, is even if you feel like he lies, you need to wait until he is all the way done speaking to talk. Because what happens is when we overspeak, it causes the live to get taken down and it irritates the host. So let's just one at a time, just let him finish his lie. If you feel like he's lying, let him finish it and then correct it.
All right, fair enough.
Thank you. This is how entrenched he is in white supremacy. He believes he can come up here and tell other black people how to speak, how to act, how to be, what they're saying. He is so entrenched in the white supremacist lie that he acts exactly like them. And I know that every single black person in this panel knows exactly what I'm talking about. Here's the other examples of how you are self-hating, really. One, just by being on the side of the people who would literally unalive you the moment you became inconvenient. Okay? They would do it to your face. They would do it proudly. They would most likely film it. It's 2024. Okay? These people that you have entrusted your life to will, at one point, unalive you. Or at least very seriously injure you. I don't want that to happen, which is why I'm telling you. Everything you believe, I disagree with. But at the same time, you, sir, are in danger. Okay? And you don't even realize it. You think that your friends, your family is safe. You're not. Because the moment you become inconvenient, the moment you get in somebody's way, guess who they're gonna unalive? It's you. Look what happened to Candace Owens. Republicans turned their back on Candace Owens, right? Because she turned her back on black people to hang out with Republicans. And then when she tried to come back to black people, what did black people do? We were like, nah, bro. So you up here caping for the people who would definitely put you back in chains if they had the choice. For what? Why are you doing this? Why are you out here actively advocating against the things that we have been fighting for 4 centuries? Like, do you just not know history? Or are you, like, doing this on purpose? Are you trolling? Because, like, tell me if you're trolling.
All right, Eli. So there's several things wrong with the statement that you made.
Of course
So the
there is.
first thing is that you said that I told people in this live how to speak. I never told anybody in this live how to speak. So that was the first lie that you said. All I did was read to you the dictionary definition of racism. The dictionary definition literally says that it is prejudice, antagonism, or discrimination on the basis of race. If you want to disagree with that, that's fine. But take that up with the dictionary, not me.
Could so melanated would this be? Could I explain how I would explain it to students and why the dictionary is not always the best place to go for that, or no?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
you can.
So the dictionary is not the dictionary is a basic definition meant for high schoolers, junior hires, right? People in this country, majority of them have a 5th, 6th grade reading level. So it's not meant for much more than that. Okay, the dictionary, if I go look up a heart transplant in the dictionary, it's going to tell me what a heart transplant is, but it's not going to tell me the, God damn it, I always think utensils, but that's not right. The scalpels and things that I need. It's not going to tell me about the, anesthesia and stuff like that. It's not going to tell me how to do the heart surgery. It's just going to tell me what a heart surgery is. It's not a comprehensive definition. That's why when we're talking about legal things, we would use a legal definition. In this case, we're talking more along the academic lines. So we would use academic definitions. And in all reality, any good teacher is going to make you learn multiple definitions, because the goal is not for you to regurgitate and spit it out. The goal is for you to be able to understand it in depth enough that you can see it in the real world, that you can see it occurring, point it out, say something, hopefully, do something, whatever, but so that it's applicable in real life. Okay, so we use an academic definition is what we would use. And in all reality, I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but this is the reality. Let me pull it up real quick.
I wanted to remind everybody that the Oxford Dictionary was written by white people who tend to, white people who tend to exaggerate.
This is the racial hierarchy in our country, right? This is pretty much how it's set up. The closer you are to white, the more acceptance that you get. White people are at the top, black people are at the bottom, followed by indigenous people next. Asian and multiracial people, ambiguous type people would fall underneath of, or right above that and underneath of white people, okay? The reality is that racism is oppression. And there's nobody based on race, and that's what racism is. It's not about class, money. It's not about anything else but race. And based on race and the fact that white people put themselves at the top of this hierarchy, there is nobody above them to push down on them. So there's nobody to be racist to them. At the bottom of this, there's nobody below black people for them to push down on. So there's nobody for them to be racist to. So racism, technically, is reserved for the people at the top, for white people. Everybody else, right? It just has a different name. It's just called something different. It's not that it's not occurring, right? It's not that these things aren't happening. Black people can, push against other black people. They can push on indigenous people and other races, back and forth, but nobody can push on top of white people. Okay? So racism is reserved for white people, and everybody else, it's either anti-blackness, anti-Asian, anti-indigeneity. So a black person can be anti-black to another black person. They can be anti-indigenous to an indigenous person. An indigenous person can be anti-black. But racism is reserved for the top, for those people who push down on everybody.
Grammy, how do you define racism?
I just defined it for you.
No, you didn't. Can you give me a simple definition?
Racism is oppression. Nobody can oppress white people based on their skin color. There's nobody above them to oppress them.
Okay, so I'm going to need you to expound on your definition, because you said racism is oppression and anybody can get oppressed.
I won't expound on it. It's not my job to educate you. I've given you the information, sir. It is your job to educate yourself or to turn to the members of the black community to educate you. You said that you were black. That's who you need to turn to.
You said racism was oppression. White people can be oppressed.
Their skin color. They cannot be oppressed on their skin color. Racism is oppression based on skin color, based on this racial hierarchy.
Okay, great.
Like
so I'm glad you're more specific now. That's all I was asking from you.
Just like classism, there's nobody above those people at the top to push on them based on their class.
Okay, great. So let's take it one at a time. So first, I just want to say that I disagree with your definition, but just for the sake of using your
anything anywhere else with me.
Okay, so first, again, I abide by the dictionary definition, so I don't agree with your definition. But just for the sake of your argument,
the teacher will not accept.
Just for the sake of I'm going to use your definition just for the sake of your argument. Okay, so you said that racism is oppression on the basis.
That's where you're mistaken. My part of this conversation is over. Accept the boundary.
All right, can you please not interrupt me? Okay, again, so you said that
I've already asked you to accept the boundary, and you're not doing that. I explained it from an instructor's definition that I would give my students at this point in time. It is your job to do your own work and go from there and turn to the members of your community for that further education.
Okay, so according to you, you said that racism is oppression on the basis of race. Now, are you saying that it is literally impossible for black people to get together and oppress white people?
Correct.
And I disagree with that. So, and here's why.
You would
Wait, please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me.
No, I'll do what I want.
Then you're a hypocrite because you told me not to interrupt you.
You didn't respect my boundary. Why should I respect yours?
Because you shouldn't be a hypocrite.
Why should I respect? You're the hypocrite. You didn't respect my boundary. You're the hypocrite.
I did not interrupt you. I waited, and now you're interrupting.
You did not respect my boundary, sir. You are the hypocrite, not me.
Can you not interrupt me, please? Okay, so as it stands in 2024.
Actually, I was going to say something. And if you don't stop unmuting, I will suppress you. You will not be able to say a word.
So is there a reason why you guys are hypocrites and try to interrupt me and I can't talk?
Man, you just can't shut up, bro. So host is trying to say something.
That's it.
I wait patiently when you guys speak, but when I speak, you interrupt.
Listen, you cape for YT people so hard that you channel their behavior and you have to be the center of attention. You need to be centered. If you would just wait for a few seconds so I can say what I wanted to say, you would be able to speak. Now, if you can't do that, I can drop you down to the comments and you can continue caping for them down there.
I have let everyone speak, but when I speak, I get interrupted. Again, that's the hypocrisy that I'm referring to.
I was just responding to the stupid
Now,
things you were saying.
Okay, are you guys going to let me speak now?
no, because I'm speaking.
How old are you actually?
As I was about to say, Eli or Black Gnostic, did you want to have dialogue with Essential while he's still being centered?
Yes, I would like to. If Eli, if I could slide in here, I've been a bit quiet. Thank you. I appreciate you, brethren. Essential. Could you please, since you clearly understand the difference between prescriptive and descriptive definitions, could you please tell us how racism works?
Sure, I can definitely do that after you let me finish the previous statement I was trying to make before you guys interrupted me.
Will you just quit
No.
crying and just get to it?
No.
Yeah, I'll definitely get to it
I
as long
won't.
as you let me finish my statement
If you
before
don't
you guys
answer my
interrupt me.
question directly, I'm going to encourage that the mods that have the power to mute do so, because you are avoiding questions that you know you can't answer.
And I would love to answer your question, sir. But again, the previous host made a statement that had some errors, and I would like to debunk those errors.
What statement did I make?
I said the host, not you.
I am the host.
Who's the host?
Oh, my bad. Grammy. I thought Grammy was the host.
No comment.
Nasty mod.
Yeah, so the errors that the moderator made, excuse me.
So can you just get on with it? Just make your point. We're waiting.
Yes. So according to your moderator, she said that racism is oppression on the basis of race. Now, going by this definition, white people do not currently experience racism under this definition because they are not being oppressed. However, hypothetically speaking, if black people were to ever go into power and physically oppress white people, then they would experience oppression on the basis of their race.
Is that what you
Do
think
they
black
experience this?
people,
No,
sir?
I never
You
said they
think-
did. But
Can I
she,
ask,
she's,
is
but
that
the,
really
but the
what you
question
think
is,
that black
can they
people would
experience
expect?
it?
I don't
Both
The
believe
of
for
question
you
one
isn't,
second
do
that
they
they
experience
would.
Like, both of you just hang on a second.
Can
Right?
they experience it?
I
And they
need to
can in
address
that
something.
scenario.
And if you don't stop, you're getting dropped.
You interrupted me.
If you feel I'm about to address somebody, so hush.
Yeah, it's still hypocritical for you guys to interrupt me.
The ego.
You don't shut up long enough. Now, as I
If
was
you
about to
can't wait
say,
patiently, that's a personal problem.
No, it's just your white rage that bothers me.
Thank you, whoever did that, because I was touching the button.
that was me. That was me. I was actually about to address the comments really quick. If you feel the need to tone police, do it elsewhere. And since you have so much to say in the comments, why don't you put up a request? Because nobody has the balls to come up here and actually say what they want to say.
Encourage anybody who doesn't believe that hierarchy exists to go pull out any soc text, any diversity text. I mean, you'll probably find 150 different versions of it sliced into 150 different ways, but they all boil down to those same, what was it, 4 or 5 markers. Boom, boom, boom. Go prove me wrong. Free textbooks at openstax.org. OPENSTAX.org.
Also, I just wanted to point out as well is that the people that I'm referring to in the comments are the same people that will cry that they were discriminated against because they're YT. Did it ever occur to you that people just don't like you because you're just unlikable? That is why you're not experiencing racism.
Could I add a
Yep, sorry.
concise definition real quick, just for poops and giggles, since all these people are scared in the comment section. So, just racism. Racism is a racism is a structure, all right, based off of race, and race is based off of phenotype, And honestly, like behavior too. From what I'm learning as it expands, designed to keep black people at the foundation of that pyramid that we looked up, so white people at the top can exploit their labor. Okay, that's what it is. That's the entire reason why racism exists. Holla at your boy Gomez Desirara if you got a problem with what I said. Okay, and I'm just changing my language. Oh my goodness, somebody would start vacuuming. Oh, it's this jealous white man. You don't like when I talk about white people. But yeah, that's what racism is. Okay, it's a system. All right, designed to exploit based off of race. That's what it is.
Sorry, I'm just looking at this person caping for white tea folks. It's really embarrassing. Sorry, I got distracted. Carry on.
No, is Essential still down there, or is it just some Essential fans? And then
Oh, it
also
was
Essential
I,
had.
yeah, it was well, I wasn't thinking of Essential.
Oh yeah, he's there. He's still
Essential,
down
you
there. Look
get
at him.
muted because you lack impulse control. That's why you get muted.
I got my book out. Hang on.
We got a literal
Yeah, he
snow
was
bunny
noticing.
in the comments.
There's
Rabbit.
a few. Here's the book.
Yeah, that's what.
Well, you guys can't see it. I'll turn my camera off here in a minute. But I'll read. I'll show it to you guys in a second. But I'm gonna read it because I can't. I gotta have it closer to my face. So hang on. This is a little passage from my textbook. Racism causes many Americans to have a negative reaction to racial diversity. Although popular culture presents racism as something anyone of any race can engage in, for some time now, scholars have described racism as a system of unequal power and privilege by which one racial group dominates another. Wellman defined racism as a system of advantage based on race. In the United States, because the dominant group has historically been white, racism is a product of white racial prejudice and discrimination, reinforced intentionally or unintentionally by institutional power and authority, and used to the advantage of whites and the disadvantage of people of color. Let me read it again. All right. Racism causes many Americans to have a negative reaction to racial diversity. Although popular culture presents racism as something anyone of any race can engage in, blah, 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 it goes on further to say, okay, in the United States, because the dominant group has historically been white, racism is a product of white racial prejudice and discrimination, reinforced intentionally or unintentionally by institutional power and authority, and used to the advantage of whites and the disadvantage of people of color. And race is a system in itself. It is a system. It is one of the institutions of this country.
McClit is a liberal.
Why are you talking? It's not your turn.
I didn't even see who that was.
That was
Owen.
Owen.
McClit.
You're
see
going to
that?
have to try harder than dirty words, because all we're going to do is record it and post it. Like you're
Wait.
silly. And then I'm going to find somebody to cartoon it and make you look even
Wait,
sillier.
so-
How's that?
You record me saying
You
shit
just
like
sound
fuck that,
ridiculous.
you butthole
What
fuck.
is wrong with you? Do you not have anything better to do on a Friday flipping night? You've got to be what, 20? How boring is your life?
He's
Do you know
gone. We're getting a
how
little
much
derailed.
fun I was having when I was in my 20s? I did not have time to sit at home and make prank phone calls. Is your refrigerator running? Dumbass.
Better go catch it.
Oh, I haven't heard that joke in like 20 years, I swear.
It's a good one.
Nephews
I heard that on
do it all the
Nickelodeon.
time.
All right, I actually have like a real point concerning this topic. I genuinely feel that racism is a lot less important than classism. Racism is a way that
You guys are brutal.
Why are you blackfishing?
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Actually, I didn't.
So give us your age, race, and pronouns before you speak on the topic.
I'm 61. I'm he, him.
And
Okay. Racism is also based on power.
You
I
didn't even
said
answer the
age, race,
comments.
and pronouns. It is not that difficult.
Request if you want to try again, bud.
Hi guys. I was in here earlier, but I just wanted to rejoin and listen for a second and maybe respond to if anybody says anything.
Can I say one thing really quick before Fiona goes?
Yes,
Sure.
go for it.
I wanted to remind Armani Shaw that he is caping for the wrong people, and I think that was it. Yeah, thanks.
And also, Armani, everybody gets muted when they come up. I'm still waiting for him to request. I asked him to request. He refuses.
Can someone
He's
explain to
scared.
me why
Been in the
people get
comments
so
for a
upset
while.
about being? Can someone tell me why they get so upset about being muted, especially like when they're first coming on the panel? Like, I'm embarrassed
Everyone
when I
is
forget to
muted.
mute. Like, I feel
Like, even I'm
embarrassed.
muted most of the time.
Right, like because it cuts out the background when you have if we all were unmuted, right? I've got trains, I've got kids yelling down the way. Eli maybe has a fan running. You might have an air conditioner running, and like that guy that was just up here had TV blaring in the background. Like all of that noise, it causes it to cut out, and then you're just left with nothing because it can't understand what people are saying, so it just cuts it out altogether.
And they wouldn't even be able to hear anything.
Well, Mr. Guy, you can re-request. I've been waiting for you to re-request. And I know you said you did, but you didn't. You didn't give your age, name, race, and pronouns. There were 4 things that you were asked for.
Is Essential your boyfriend? Because you've been going on about him for the last half hour.
Well, there's a couple of them that go around, a couple of them trolls that go around and work in pairs.
I don't know how people are going to be in the comments of a live for so long and not want to get in the box. Like, what's going on?
Armani is scared of me. I'm pretty sure they blocked
100%.
I'm 100% certain that Armani Shaw has blocked me or like muted me in some way. Because I definitely dunked on him earlier in the comments, and he hasn't responded to a single thing I've said to him since. He's definitely scared. Playing the box for so long because people like me, unlike you, which is why you've been fighting for your life in the comments this whole time.
Also, he actually has something valuable to say that he doesn't have to take 5 minutes to think of a written response to.
Off the top of my head, bro. All the stuff off the top of my head. I can basically make you in a minute. All you have to do is say like 5 words, and I can tell you everything about yourself.
Are you okay? Do you want to go for a walk? Mosquitoes trying to get out. I'll have to swap to my other phone.
I would like to say something if that's okay, just about the topic.
Okay, go ahead.
So I am a white person, and I just want. I said this a little bit earlier, when I was in here, but I think it's different people on here. I just want to say that,
Hey, so you know, when you pause or go off screen, it cuts you out and we can't hear you. Like it paused for a second. I didn't know if you knew that.
Oh yeah, sorry. I had like a low battery notification come up.
I just wanted to make sure you knew.
Okay, thank you. I just want to say about the topic that I have grown up in I think it is actually the whitest state in America. I grew up in Utah. There are no black people here. Like, I'm telling you, none. And I would say that, like, of the very few Black people I've known here in my life, they have experienced racism to such a degree that it is so ridiculously silly to compare the experiences of that to a white person like me. I have not experienced anything even close to the things that I've seen on the media, that I've heard about in my hometown. I mean, it's ridiculous that people want to find a reason so bad to be oppressed. Like, why can't you just admit that you have privilege? That's what I would say.
Do you want the answer?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because if people begin to admit the privilege that they have, to admit that privilege means they have to see what's going on around them. They have to recognize it to some degree and see it. And once you start seeing it, you can't unsee it. So they're going to fight as long and as hard as they can to keep those blinders on. Because just like, you know, just like the music changes in a scary movie and you know that, you know, you got to cover your eyes. Like, they know that once they uncover their eyes, they know what's there. They know. And they don't want to see it. That's my opinion. That's just my personal opinion. My personal opinion is not the opinion of TikTok. It's not So Melanated's opinion. It's not anybody else's opinion, just mine.
Actually, it's not just your opinion, Grammy. I wanted to let you know that that's actually a very common opinion of professionals that have talked about this. So they also say that YT people...
But I didn't want to say that.
Yeah. So they say that YT people are afraid that if they have to acknowledge it, then they will start to question their own merit. But I wasn't even going to say that, but I went ahead and said it anyway.
Essential and Armani just need to get a room at this point. What is going on? Is it the same person on two different accounts? I don't understand.
It could be Rosebud playing all of us.
Yeah, they definitely need a
Aren't I?
room.
I'm gonna go to hell for that.
Right. But let's hear from someone at the top and then Tomas.
Hola.
Is someone okay?
Hello. What are the questions again? I thought y'all were gonna
Name,
play along.
age, race, pronouns.
Age, name, race, pronoun. 30. White, I guess, and or Caucasian, since that word's so much funner to say. And pronouns, he, him, or me, because I don't talk about myself in third person.
Then what do you want us to call you? Someone?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, so what are your thoughts on that background?
So, I don't think we can speak for anybody else's experiences, but I do think that there's a lot of people who might experience it and probably just either don't care or, know that it's very, very insignificant to the bigger picture of things, like just the whole, sticks and stones kind of words thing. Like, words are like the wind or whatever, they're just so like in the experience of being called names and stuff like that. But for the experience of action wise or something that would be systemic, I have some questions on for clarity, because I'm confused by a few things, like especially in the systemic section, because like, isn't technically affirmative action part of the system now? Wouldn't that make that systemic? not that I'm hating on it, it's good or bad. I'm just saying, like, isn't it specifically focused on skin tone? And if that is the case, that is actually in the system, like as part of the, the process of a system. So I get kind of confused by some of the terms. Also, I think that anybody who gives another race a special ability, like can't experience racism, is kind of perpetuating the supremacy aspect of it. Like, if you can't experience racism or if you can't be racist, you are superior. You have a trait that no one else has that makes you superior. So if white people can't